So, welcome to the show. As always, I am your host, Afro the Prince.
And it is your co-host Papa Fredo. This is the Midwest Point of View, where we give our point of view on business, life, and culture here in the Midwest, and how that impact us all around the world.
Man, say it for the people in the back, man, because I don't think they heard you.
It's gonna impact all y'all around the world.
You heard me? All right. So, and speaking of impact, we gonna take it back. And if you didn't know, we will do this. We highlight people who impact our history now or in past and present times, all the way up to who we deem will probably impact us in the future. Black people are magnificent in that way. But in the Midwest, though, it's not talked about in the extent that we believe it should, and we got to give you our point of view on why that needs to improve. Like straight like that, it really do, and I don't think we paying enough attention to it. Papa, who do you think they need to know about that was impactful from the Midwest, especially on the women tip?
Yeah. So first of all, let's just highlight the fact that we are bringing out the women from the Midwest. So not just any one per se, but just strictly we talking about the beautiful women and what they have done and what they brought to our Midwest culture. So I'm going to start with Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker was a valued dancer during the World War II. She actually made her debut, or as far as with a big, um, how can I say it, a big jump for her nation, as far as with like she put herself on the front line. She became a spy actually for the France Resistance War, and utilized her skills to get information that was needed to that was critical. I'm sorry, for the Nazi, and it was that information. It aided in that war, as far as with for us to be able to win that war for World War II. So she was a big pillar in that war alone herself, and that was all based off of her dancing skills. So she just showed y'all as far as with she can be a great entertainer, but also take that ability to help her nation. So I thought that was really dope. And again, this is a black woman that we talking about.
So, uh, what I hear is that she not only used her skills of captivation, right? Her skills of captivation in the entertainment industry. She used her skills of captivation to progress America, to um, really make sure that, because in that time, from what like we were taught in American history and just like in school, it was a necessity to win that war. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate her using those skills and becoming evasive and becoming a spy. I think that that's really really dope. So for me, um, there's a lady I found out um, while she was. Here's what I want to highlight. So her name is Eddine Griffin, right? So if you don't know, I am a professional speaker, and it was really ironic to find out that her name is Griffin, because that's my maiden last name. She was born in Kentucky, but she made her historical stance in Iowa. Like she was iconically known, and she's known as the Rosa Parks of Iowa. So this was their comparison to the stance that she took in Iowa. So she came from Kentucky. She went to HBCU. She went to Fisk. Then she came to Des Moines, Iowa. She was born in 1909, and she studies to actually become a teacher. So she was very big on education. Shout out to all the women who educate our village, who educate our children, especially black women. You are the first teachers. You are the first nurturers. Me as a spiritualist, I honor you in that presence. So her husband moved to Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, where she continued her education. And what she ended up doing was one day at Kate's drugstore. This is July 7th, 1948, right? So she walks into the store with a couple of her counterparts. And this is pre-segregation. So it's that whole racial divide that's in America. And sometimes we would even say that it hasn't even moved away from the Midwest at all. Like there's still a racial divide depending upon what city you go to. But in
Oh,
her instance,
it's still big. It's still real big.
yeah, for sure. But in her instance, at that time, the store worker said that they were not equipped to serve colored people. You know, they used colored back then to describe a lot of us. Like black became in later. So all she wanted was, a frozen treat, some ice cream or some form of ice cream. And the store worker like, nah, we ain't got the equipment to serve colored people. Now, because she felt this that her herself as a woman, especially as a black woman, deserved more dignity. And you got to realize, like, this is what I respect about our people, especially, is when we go and get educated, we go and get empowered, and we demand our dignity because we like, no, I have a degree as a teacher and so forth and so on. So she went and sued them. She went and sued the drugstore in court, and the amount was like 10K. So 10K back then is probably equivalent to, I want to at least say estimately like $100,000, right? That's a lot of money back then, $10,000. So she sued them with the help of the NAACP. She actually won her case. So this is why she's known as the Rosa Parks of Iowa. Her name is Eddine Griffin. She was born in October 23rd, 1909. And she actually won. And she won, but she had an all-white juror during segregation. Like, you know how hard that is? Now, she didn't win the 10K, so let me be
All white jury and
all-white jury.
them. I mean, yeah, that's not easy at all. I'm pretty sure all odds was against her in that courtroom. So
Yeah,
for her to stand tall and to make it out of that, I think that that's very great. I think that
yeah.
showed that we can still rise up above oppression, and even though
Protested for like 3 days, too.
all odds are against us, we can still come out on top. So that just means never give up and never give up on yourself as well. So I think she's very inspirational, and I'm glad that you brought her out to highlight her for what she has done for sure, truly. Um,
Yeah.
just to go on to another wonderful black woman that's coming from the Midwest that did some great things. I want to bring out Michelle Obama. Yes, I said Michelle Obama, the former first lady. If y'all didn't know, I'm going to enlighten y'all now. She was the first African American first lady to come of office. So let's give her props for that. And then I also want to shout her out just because of the fact that she did promote health and awareness to children all around the entire nation, even before that took place with her being in office and thus after. She played a big keynote in trying to see to it that America had some type of health awareness going on, and that we were taking care of our kids and not just trying to. What's the saying that used to go around a lot? Americans are fat and lazy. So I think I take from what Michelle was trying to do is she was just trying to break that cycle, and
All
still to
right.
this day, of course, trying to break that cycle. So that way, then we can be of health and wealth at the same time. So I really do appreciate her for that.
Let's see if we can clap it up for her. Can we clap it up for her?
Oh, and just in case y'all didn't know, she did have a big part in the reason why a lot of the foods that were in schools at first, as far as like the regular Lay's bags of chips, things of that sort that was unhealthy, got swapped out for better products that are supposedly healthier for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
We had to make sure we clapped it up for her. Okay, that's us. We had to make sure we did that. But no, that is impactful to impact the food industry to the point to where they actually say, all right, we're gonna change the chips. Dang, in so many words. Because they've been selling us, whatever the unhealthy ingredients is in Cheetos, Doritos, and Fritos. So
you could light a hot fryer on fire and that thing gonna burn. You hear me? It's just
you hear me?
and
Um,
that's not healthy. Just imagine what that's doing in insides and your acid reflexes trying to break that down.
Yeah, we gonna have to bring some. We definitely gonna have to bring some women on. I would love that, and especially if you're interested, comment, share, subscribe. But yeah, we definitely have to bring some women on because I would love to talk to them about uh, health and healthy dieting, digestive workouts, even for men and women. But one last person I want to bring up that I thought was influential is her name is Vel Phillips. So she's out of Wisconsin, specifically Milwaukee. And I believe that Milwaukee was like one of the hubs in Wisconsin where black people just flocked when it came to the Great Migration. So she was born on February. She's born in Black History Month, so February 18th, and She's born in 1923. So these are her overall accomplishments. She actually did a lot during her time span, especially being like in segregation, having to fight segregation. She was a civil rights activist. She was an American attorney. She was a politician. She was a jurist. She was an alderman at some point, or alder person, as they put it. And then lastly, she became a judge. She was a judge in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then the highlight, because ironically, this sticks out to me because in my city, specifically in the Midwest, like in Chicago, you always talk about like we going to Secretary of State. You go to Secretary of State for everything. And for the longest, we just got a new Secretary of State. I'm talking about literally. All over here growing up was Jesse Brown. You said what?
I said, yeah, Jesse White had been in office for so long.
Yeah, so she was the Secretary of State of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and she went to Howard, so she went to HBCU. So a lot of, and this is what I love. I think we have to get back to. A lot of pretty much these women would be our grandmothers. Like they would be. Because they.
And it would be more than a grandmother. For example, Josephine Baker, and if I didn't let y'all know, she comes straight out of St. Louis, and she was born 1906, and didn't pass till 1975. So some of
Well,
her
no.
accomplishments.
So this is why I say grandmothers. So Vail Phillips, she just passed recently in like 2019. So that's what I mean when I say grandmother. Yeah. So she would be someone's our grandmother. But my point was,
Do you got that information?
you said what?
At what age did she pass?
95. She was 95 years old. But my point to
My grandmama's grandmama.
no, my grandfather's 82, bro. I know somebody. I know.
I know somebody granny right now that's 35.
Right. This age is different. Um, what was I going with this? Oh, my point was a lot of the women went to HBCUs, and to me, that's a cultural significance that we sort of veered away from. I don't hear about that. And during this time, even the segregation, like a lot of them still pride themselves on going to HBCUs, even after integration, because this was doing so right. So even while America's talking about they will integrate, they still choose to go to HBCUs. So I feel like that's a really big thing. But one of the main things I want to highlight with her, outside of the fact that she got her law degree from the University of Wisconsin in the 1950s, we always talk about fair housing, right? So when you start to learn about real estate, they used to talk about redlining. That's one of the iconic things. You can see the example of redlining in this show called Them. There's an iconic scene. You can look it up if you just go on YouTube. But what she did to combat discrimination for Black people in housing, and was she proposed a housing bill to fight against redlining in Wisconsin and Milwaukee. And it was so detailed to the point to where, like, if the people were convicted, of being discriminatory against blacks, for not wanting to rent to us, from not wanting to, have us buy homes. She got it to the point to where her proposed bill, which would be real legislation in Wisconsin, $250 or 30 days in jail, like if you were convicted. So I think that was very impactful to even come up with that sort of legal action to fight against racism and discrimination. I thought that was really dope. Outside of her being like the first black woman to be a judge in Wisconsin.
Yeah, thank you for enlightening us there, Afro, on that black excellence there. We do appreciate it. And actually, while you bringing up redlining and housing and how those things work, how about we go ahead and inform them about Midwest housing here in the Midwest and how that actually works here for us currently at this time. For example, one second here. So I want to give a few tips on actual purchasing a home here in the Midwest and really just in general. I know some of y'all may be looking into doing so. So before actually going into getting a home, I just want to say you may want to take in consideration as far as with assessing your finances. Basically, meaning make sure that you are actually set up to reach that stage to go into purchasing a home. What's your credit score? What do you have that is liquid cash that can be used right now on hand? Because if you purchase a home under a HOA, for example, or I'm sorry, FHA, sorry, but if you purchase a home underneath that, um, they only allow so much for you to actually obtain this home. So, say if the paint is peeling, cracked walls, things of that sort, that will actually detour you from being able to purchase that home versus a conventional loan to where you can get away with the crack in the wall or chip paint, but at the same time, you have a higher down payment rate, right? So that's the difference there between the conventional and the FHA. They help you a little bit more as far as with your purchase, but they want to make sure that you're actually getting in a home that doesn't have a problem. So you want to take that in consideration as well. Just which type of uh, loan will be suitable for what you're looking to obtain, and you're not just picking anything because picking a house is almost like picking a car. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to pick a lemon. So you don't want your roof caving in and you got
For sure.
stuff to repair.
For
The
sure.
furnace or the AC, for example. Do you want an AC in your home, or are you going to get the type of air conditioners that just go in the window? That's something else to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, uh, getting pre-approved for your loan, just a heads up, once you do get that pre-approved letter, you can then take that letter to go right to the market as far as now purchasing homes. So you don't have to wait once you get your pre-approved letter. If you working something out with the loan officer, just try to push for a pre-approved letter. If you do have a home that you already been looking at, and it may be taking y'all a little bit of time to finish up all of the paperwork or the criteria through the loan officer, he may be able to give you a pre-approved loan right now, at least, so you can run with that. So that's another thing I want to put out there. And finding a home, you can start looking for homes. Keep in mind your budget and what you're looking for. So just because you may not have gotten the loan right now, like you may not know if you're going with the conventional or FHA, don't let that deter you from looking because you
Right.
still make sure that you're taking advantage of the market now as far as with locating homes, things of that sort. So when you do get approved, you can go ahead and start rolling those out and getting in there to go see those homes before someone else sees them, and now you can't get them. So that's something else to keep in mind there as well.
Most realtors will never really tell you that it's a bad time to buy in the market. It just depends on what it is that you can actually
Obtain
finance or get. Yeah.
Research and finance options explore different types of loans, such as conventional, just as I mentioned, FHA, VA, and USDA loans. You can
Oh man,
also
I forgot
choose
about USDA loans. Yeah, I forgot about
also
them.
choose a loan officer or mortgage specialist to help you with the process, so you don't have to go through this alone. Just another good heads up and jewel there as well. When I went through the process to purchase my home, I didn't have someone to walk through these things with me and bring this information just up. I just had to really kind of figure
Yeah,
out all of these
we
things.
we use real life experiences. So I want everybody to remember this. Um, we are aspiring real estate investors, but a lot of the things that we talk about, if it's not from a historical or the best that we can informed place when we give these things to you guys, it's from a real life place. It's from like we actually went out, tested, we actually gone through programs, like the whole process. So when they say we understand the struggle, the frustration of getting to the point where you get the approval letter, you either going through the program or you going strictly through the bank to either apply for your FHA, you got your down payment, whatever the requirement is for FHA. It's probably, if it still is, it should be 3.5 for FHA and then 5% for conventional. But like that whole strenuous process, and you get the letter and you go see the house and then you put your bid in and now you just disappointed because you may have gotten outbidded. You know what I'm saying? And it's no fault of your own. Don't get me wrong. Again, that's the relationship between uh, the seller. You know what I'm saying? That's the person that it may have been from a cash buy. You do not know. Each time I tried to go out, they never really revealed that to me that I lost to a cash buyer. But I understand, like, hey man, I thought I found the perfect multi-family home. I'm finna set up. I'm finna start my generational wealth journey, and somehow it didn't fall in my hands. So I get the frustration, and like we relate to the everyday Joe because we still everyday men. We think we him. Papa is giving you the tips and the trips for going out and trying to strive to be the best man he can be and a parent while trying to do real estate. So definitely take heed to all his tips and tricks and trends and information when it comes to real estate.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just like Afro said, man, we just striving just as well as y'all is. So we wouldn't be us if we didn't take the bumps and bruises that we learned going down our own path and give them to y'all and let y'all know what y'all can do to be great as well. Because that's what we are big on here as far as with passing those jewels down. We don't want to hold the keys to the kingdom just to ourselves. We want everybody to shine all together. So that's what we looking
For,
to do. Um,
for sure. What? So when it comes to shining, what I do want to say, I want to add this. So when it comes to shining, the Midwest shines really brightly, especially really recently. So according to search engines, Bing and all those others, the appreciation for homes in our region, in the Midwest alone, that improved to anywhere between 5 to estimatedly 10%, maybe like 8%, 7% on the dot, somewhere around there. But we in our region, so I see why a lot of people ain't talking about Indiana, ain't talking about Michigan, ain't talking about Kansas, ain't talking about St. Louis, because we got the strongest market according to the search engines for affordable housing. We got the strongest economy right now. So it used to be, yeah, you want to go down to Texas. Now you might want to come to Indiana. You know what I'm saying? You might want to come to Rockford.
yeah, right now Rockford holds the best market for housing in the U.S. So if you're looking for affordable housing and somewhere to really catch your bang for your buck and make your money, this is the place to be. So
Yeah, according to the National Association of Realtors, the price growth for real estate from single homes to multifamilies to mixed use and probably even commercial has grown year over year. Like we top 10, we damn near probably top 5 in those main states were Wisconsin, was Illinois, and it was Indiana for sure. People been talking about Indiana for a while though. I remember that back even prior to the show, like 2020, people was talking about Indiana.
Yeah, that time pretty much over with though.
Yeah. So please be aware when you aspire, especially in the economy that we live in now. They're not talking about it, but as Midwesters, Joe, we got to tell you about it. Especially being in the city, McDonald's is high, my guy. So if you're trying to buy real estate, you really I had to sit down in my cubicle today, bro. I was going over my finances, like cutting off subscriptions. Like, how serious am I with buying real estate in 2025? And like, that's what I really want y'all to take home. How serious are you about creating generational wealth, striving for your dreams? Because that's why we brought up. Hmm?
Just to piggyback off what bro said though, you can also go into looking at land outside of just buying the physical home and land. You could buy land and build on top of the land. So don't get detoured if you can't find a home to your liking to start your way into the market. Once your foot in the door, you in the door. So that's all that we care about.
Yeah, so it's definitely tools and jewels and ways to get through the fuse when it comes to investing. Speaking of investing, shout out Investfest. They will be back in Atlanta. But if you from the Midwest,
Will be on the way.
yeah, we definitely coming. So we will be representing y'all. And if you just like, if you fans of us from the show, or if you just fans of like us as influencers, definitely come by and say hi. You know what I'm saying? Say what's up to Papa. Get a picture with the number one, probably black dad in the Midwest, and get a picture with the royal. You know what I'm saying? Definitely get a picture with the prince. But I definitely recommend uh our region.
Wait, I'm talking to my son right now.
Don't even get me started, man. Uh, but I will get on my T'Challa real quick. Quick play with me. Uh, but definitely everybody that's in the Midwest, man, take all the opportunities you can to find a way to make income. Right? Take opportunities that you have to find a way to make income, because you know what you can do with that. You're going to grow the workforce. You're going to do training development, and that's one of the things that isn't talked about a lot, I believe, in our region either. Probably, I feel like you should put them on.
I'm sorry, one more time.
With training and workforce development, I feel like you should put them on because it's not talked about.
Oh, my bad. As far as with the workforce in today's time, we know that a lot of things are changing and they are growing and progressing as robotics grow and progress, right? AI is starting to take over a lot of people um, jobs or giving other people or a lot of other people jobs within that field. But
Mm.
what I want to lean more so on is just saying this to the listeners even on today, right? Focus on quality. So focus on your quality on what you bring to the organization. You know, uh, are you adding on to are you adding on to production? Basically meaning, are you producing more customers or more sales or whatever parts need to be fixed based on your job description or the job that you're working for? So be a quality worker. Don't just be there for just the check. You know what I mean? Take pride in what you're actually doing, because that stuff will follow you throughout your next job or wherever you may go next.
Right.
Um, Another thing I want to say is invest in education. So kind of leaning towards what you were mentioning before, take advantage of the opportunity to make a save and reinvest your money in something that will then produce gain later on in time. So don't look just for the quick dollar to what you can make now. Talking to myself as well, Papa Fredo deals with that a lot. But don't pay attention to the quick dollar right now. Pay more attention to your investments so that way then when the time comes, you'll be able to liquidate those for cash, because that's how that works. So don't sleep on investments. Whether it's from the stock market, purchasing a new home that you're then renting out or looking to sell. Cars are also another quick flip. You could purchase cars for lower end, sell them for higher end. Mechanics do it all the time, and so do dealerships. Of course, we all know that. Another thing I want to say is embrace the remote aspect that we have now gained here in America. There are so many remote jobs that no one should really have an issue finding work at this point. Like even if you so lazy that you don't want to go to the building to work, you can work at home, my guy. They got you hooked up.
Not
So
lazy.
yeah.
Not
Um,
lazy.
Another thing is you can support union jobs. You know, that's a big thing here in the Midwest. We got a lot of union jobs. And y'all know what it is. Once you in that union, it's like pulling teeth from a tiger to get you out. So, you know, it's a secure job, it's a secure income. It takes care of you and your family.
Right.
Uh, you can also focus on growing industries. So that's kind of being innovative. You know, go with the industries that are new to our way of life, but are rapidly growing. Look at Amazon. When they first came, no one could understand why the hell we need Amazon for. We already got UPS and we got FedEx. What the fuck we need Amazon for? Guess what? Amazon that took over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so keep that in
So
mind.
so while yes, you should be aware of innovation when it comes to workforce development, and they're going to have trainings for that as you know, the job industries change or progress. We change and develop training for that. You know, all the search that you see from Google and Microsoft, those are great. But one of the things that I want to highlight is that, brothers and sisters, when we came to this place in this Western world, all we had was our hands, right? And you should still take pride in the things that you able to do with your hands. You hear me? Like, listen to me. This is for all my conscious people. We know that when we first came here, we was carpenters, we was electricians before electricians became a word. We was the plumbers before plumbers became a word. We was the agricultural gardeners before we became a word. Our hands created all the promised land of what people deem this country to be, especially for Black Americans, and even the Western world. So even in Jamaica, even in Dominican, like we did these things with our hands, our bare hands in real life. So one of the things I want to highlight is even getting trades. It's still important and it's still valued. And the top trades. Now this is from Kansas City, you know, because we when we say we highlight the Midwest, like we highlight the Midwest, and we don't try. We do our best not to leave no stone unturned. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs because they still the champs. So Midwesterns are still the champs in the NFL. Uh, and especially with the Black population, you can do a lot. But and this is on Indeed. I want to get a reference. So Indeed is the resource where they tell you about the top 10 or 5 jobs that are trade jobs. So plumbing, and a lot of these jobs you really don't need extenuous education. Most of these jobs that I'm about to name off real quick is, once you got your high school diploma or GED. Remember, your GED is equivalent to your high school diploma. So for every brother or sister that bump their head on the road and you like, man, I'm too old to be going to high school, or whatever happened in your life, you can still get your GED. Like, that's something you can go to a community college for. They got trades and stuff for that. Um, and then you just take an apprenticeship or get a cert. So like plumbing, high school diploma, GED, apprenticeship, state license. You start off at 57, and this is from the year 2023. Electrician, $60,000, high school diploma, tech cert, welder, general contractor. So that the top paying jobs, which is I figured out, I was late to it because I didn't know that this was the salary. The top 2 paying jobs is general contractor and a trucker. So a general contractor, and then I think they only said you needed a cert, and you may need some education, but mainly just a cert or the contractor's license. And it started off at like $98,000 a year, and I'm like, what? for a contractor. And that's the person that look at the blueprints like he might know something about a hammer and nail, but he the dude that stare at the map.
So the general contractor actually constructs a lot himself. Like they not just looking at the blueprints to kind of elaborate. They also gonna be the ones that's gonna orchestrate, you know, how your water, your gas, um, sewage, things of that sort is gonna take place on your property,
So he's the
or
person.
even if it's like a commercial property for
So
that
so
to be the matter.
so he's the person like, and ladies, you gonna remember this. So he's the person that be like, man, baby, I could build your house. Like, yo, their response should be, is you a general contractor?
Basically, he
You heard me?
build the house, but the whole time he just going to go get all the tools to build the house.
Right.
But his job is so important because he could decipher where all this gonna go, which you
Yeah.
can't do. Nor the people that's coming to do it can't
Shout
do
out to
that.
the women who are general contractors though. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Because like I
Uh
said, like even people that's coming to put the stuff together, they need somebody to direct them.
yeah, for sure. The second most paying job though, and this was a big trend. I know you know about this, at least for the past 2 years. Truck driving. So truck driving, what? What?
You funny because of what you said. Go ahead, bro.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Truck driving and truck driving. I ain't gonna cap to you. I was shocked. They talking about a hundred bands plus 108 to be exact. 108K is the salary. Now I've talked to some truckers who started out getting their CDLs. I'm talking about like the 18 wheelers. There are companies you don't start out at 108 or 100K plus, but you get pretty close.
Yeah, so to my knowledge, it kind of give and take too. Like, are you on the road or are you driving local?
Right.
But either or is still a good stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? Like that's good money. You know,
That is good money.
you can take your
eighty
you can
thousand
take your
dollars.
earnings as far as with bills paid, everything taken care of. You got something saved up too. You got a little extra. Put that in the market or save that up so that way then you can get out of that position of being a trucker and you can focus on your next goal as far as what are you going to do for yourself to be able to work and live going forward. Don't
Mm-hmm.
nobody want to work for don't nobody want to work for somebody all their life. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people, if you watching in on our show, then you share that mindset that we have there.
Because we chose striving not to work for people. Telling you, like we would love to chop it up with y'all. What 5 days a week, and you can support that because we gonna give you real information. Like we really we pride ourselves on taking time out and putting these things together. Whether it's the everyday life of trying to find a job that's sustainable, you know, business and culture. Like all these things are important to us.
Very important. I mean, here in the Midwest, culture, business, and life is what we thrive on. And that's not even just in the Midwest, that's really all around the world. But
Yeah.
we felt the need to give the insight on what goes on here where we are in our region because we are so much impacted and affected by it. And not saying that in a negative way, but just as far as it's so much good going on that we do want to open y'all up to y'all minds and hearts to see what we do see here. So
The programs that's going on in Indiana, the programs that's going on in St. Louis, like, you know what I'm saying? Like everything, I want you to realize that in our region, the things that we want and wish are better. There is somebody striving. There is your next door neighbor. There's a brother or sister in Iowa who is striving for the same thing. And we as a collective have to really start looking at each other to seeing how we can give a helping hand. You know what I'm saying? And highlighting this to me gives that helping hand. That's how I look at it.
yeah, yeah, I agree. The jewels that we dropped today from how to go about when purchasing property far as with getting into the housing market, um, from the black women that we highlighted here and their excellence and what they have also brought to our country.
Yeah,
And
shout out to the black women and shout out to all the Divine Nine that's gonna be supporting I know y'all gonna be supporting Kamala. You know, so I trust me, I done seen all the clips already. The AKAs just they lined up.
yeah, and then also just breaking down like the workforce and development skills and different innovative ways you can go about to be successful there, and just keep thriving. Again, we all from the Midwest that's listening here.
Even if
So
you ain't though, shout out for supporting us though. I do want to say that. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
for
Even
y'all
if you
getting
ain't, Joe.
close with these topics today, because it's big for us. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like y'all could take this and really run with it. We looking to do more programs as far as with just between the two of us, between me and Afro, to give back to the Midwest where we coming from. We actually just had a Scared Straight program for the kids here in Rockford take place on Monday. So that's just another little stepping stone there as far as with to impact our culture and impact our cities here in the Midwest. So that way, then we doing the best that we can from Midwest point of view, Papa Fredo
Hmm.
and Afro to help and give back.
Yeah, and another way, ironically, that's coming to the Midwest. It is coming to Chicago specifically, but it is an opportunity, and I do my best to highlight opportunities. So, Earn Your Masters is coming to the city. We will be there. There possibly will be some interviews that we'll get and we'll post. Uh, and we'll do our best to get a recap. But Earn Your Masters is a grant. It's a pitch competition to where you can pitch your business and you can perform as an artist. So all of y'all who are striving to be the next Herb, Dirks, Deuce, Snake Deuce from Detroit, Cider Babies. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's coming out the Midwest that truly believe that you have talent, there's opportunities for you here, and you can make a career in the entertainment industry. Even us in podcasting, like this is a form of walking in the entertainment, especially as influencers. Like we're the up and coming wave that is made to embark in the entertainment industry. And that's why I shout out to Earn Your Leisure for doing Earn Your Masters. We will definitely be there and we will learn. You may even see us on the stage. You may get recaps of Papa pitching his initiative and me pitching my initiative. Just so y'all know, we do that. So like we not your normal and average like podcasters or influencers. Like we really do the things that we talk about, or we really strive to take those risks and those chances because we want to
Yeah,
highlight that we do this.
average as y'all is, bro. I'm going to McDonald's. I'm finna go get me a fry. You know what I'm saying? A Sprite. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing changed. I'm just an average Joe, just like the rest of y'all. You feel me? It's just the only thing is that we waking up and we actually going for what we want every day, and that's why y'all see us here right now doing what we can, so that way then we can keep progressing, but not just keep progressing for ourselves, but keep pushing for y'all as well.
Man, you gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep pushing. So shout out Opus Clips. That is one of our affiliates. Shout out our partners though. Everybody like, subscribe, especially if you want to come on the show. So comment, hey, I want to give my point of view. Hit the like button, click the share button, and let us know. And email us. You really can't email us at midwestpointofview at gmail.com.
All right, I am your host, Papa Fredo, along with my co-host.
Out for the Prince.
This is the Midwest Point of View, where we give our point of view on business, life, and the culture here in the Midwest and how that affects us all around the world. We thank y'all for listening again for another week show.
Man, come back though. We airing every day, Friday. Well, every week, Friday. You hear I say every
Yeah,
day.
Friday, 8
Yeah.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right?
Well, we on Central, but y'all just match up the times. Google is your best friend, dog. But yeah, we gonna catch y'all. All right.